But today we are changing the narrative. Just like we did last week with river rafting, we had Sam Pratico come through and bless us with some gems about river rafting. If you haven't checked out the video, check it out. We have a bunch of shorts out there you can check out as well. I had Sam Pratico come back to the building, to the space, to the platform to talk about one of his major loves, which is snowboarding. So as I mentioned in my last segment, I have never snowboarded in my life. Can Sam convince me? I don't know yet, but I had to record this piece here, this intro. We had a few audio issues on the video that we recorded, so this intro is a little different than the rest of the video, but just wanted to give you a heads up. The topic for today, from Monday Motivation, changing the narrative, is snowboarding. And we got Sam Pratico who's going to come through, give us the gems. So I hope you enjoy this segment. Hopefully it encourages you to go snowboarding if you've been thinking about it. But more importantly, keep changing the narrative, y'all. That's what this segment is about. So let's bring them on. Sam Pratico, topic snowboarding. Let's go, people. Peace. Welcome back. As you know, we have Sam Pratico in the building, my dear friend, homie of mine from camp, but also my river rafting companion. But we're not talking about river rafting this time. You know, it's Monday Motivation. We're changing the narrative today. And today I brought Sam in to talk about snowboarding. And y'all, I am clueless to snowboarding. I've never done it before. Am I intrigued? Yes, probably more intrigued with snowboarding than skiing. But Sam absolutely loves snowboarding. So I was like, Sam, you need to come back, bless the audience with some gems about snowboarding and why it resonates with you. And we're going to give you some other thoughts as well. So, Sam, thank you for coming back. I'm going to give you that round camp clap to bring you back in the building. And you know, we're talking about snowboarding. I know you absolutely love snowboarding. You got a bunch of amazing photos of you doing your thing snowboarding. So, Sam, what you got for us? Why does it resonate with you? How'd you get started? We know it's a costly sport, right? But why is it so much fun for you?
It's where I truly feel I have a sense of freedom and expression to do whatever it is I want, wherever I want, right? Like you asked how I got started. Uh, I was one of those people of I'm gonna buy a snowboard off Facebook Marketplace, right? Trying to cut that cost. I got a snowboard for 20 bucks, got some boots that kind of fit for about 10 bucks, right? Snowboard already had the binding, so I didn't have to worry. And honestly, that first setup, it was a little small, but finding out later on, starting with a board that's a little bit smaller isn't that bad of a thing, right? Because then there's less of a board you actually have to move around and maneuver because that board, it's your tool. So I started off, I took a ski lesson first, just so I knew nothing about skiing. So I wanted to get someone to like teach me a little bit. But snowboarding, I was like, I'm gonna put this on my feet. I'm gonna go over to we had a little like sledding hill down by where I used to live. So I went out there, tried it for the first time, totally ate it. Ate it probably for the next 6 months afterwards, working on it. But going out there teaching myself was a completely different experience than when I actually got into the industry to be an instructor myself. That's where I learned proper technique, the little tips and tricks that actually improve your riding, and where, again, you understand that tool some more. So I just wanted to go slide around on some snow, have some fun. Again, being a Florida boy, I didn't know anything about snow. I don't know how it moved, that there's different kinds of snow that you're looking for, what the difference of a pow day is versus just like a sunny bluebird day, right? Like people over on the East Coast, they talk about they've got the ice coast because it rains and it just freezes. Versus out here in Colorado, we get some nice dumps down. And those are days that you'll hear the phrase no friends on a powder day. And I'm not like that. I love having my friends on a powder day, everyone getting face shots, watching all my friends tomahawk because they absolutely want to send it down some steeps because that's the time to do so. Uh, uh, but my big thing, like I said, that freedom and expression, I view the mountain as a playground. And on my snowboard, I feel like a kid again. I can like do little silly dance moves. I can jump. I can do little hops. I can like spin around. I can jump onto this feature. I can jump onto that wall. I can fall off of a cliff and it's totally fine. Right? Like it's a whole other level of freedom in my opinion. Um, but I think back to when I was back in Florida, I tried to learn how to skateboard and I was like, all right, this is fine. I can't really do any tricks or anything. I can like use it as a sense of transportation. And same thing with longboarding. I really like longboarding for those long rides. And that's kind of how I viewed snowboarding of like, all right, it's a board, but my feet don't actually have to leave. So how bad could it be since I get to slip and slide around. I still get those adrenaline rushes, but I can still have like a nice cruisy time because I actually just got done doing an avalanche course because I wanted to take my riding out of the resorts, have a little bit more of that peace and quiet, just enjoying that nature around me. And I can bring my dog. My dog loves to pull me on my snowboard. So we'll go on a trail. He gets his run out. I don't have to put any effort. I just get to hold on to the leash and enjoy the ride. Uh, but that's another like community aspect for me. I did a
For
lot
sure.
of riding by myself at first because I didn't want to hold people back, right? Like I don't want people to worry that I was going too slow. I didn't want anyone to tell me that I was doing it wrong,
Mm.
which I don't believe that there is a wrong way of snowboarding. If you're having fun, you're sliding around. If you want to get better, you're gonna put that effort into wanting to get better, right? Whether it's watching videos, being around other people, and you see something that they do is cool. I'm out there watching people, meeting new people, doing super rad things. I'm like, wow, I want to be like them one day. And then having students be like, I want to know what you're doing. What you're doing looks super cool, but it looks so hard. How can I be like you? And to like have that table turn is wild. And only been snowboarding for 6 years now. Yeah, 6 years. So it's I've just met a lot of cool people, and that's been one of the big things of I was able to accomplish a goal I had of being able to snowboard every single month of the year,
Mm.
whether it was just one time, but finding some little bit of snow and then like cruising down. I was lucky enough to work at a summer camp that they were doing snowboarding and skiing.
Look at
So
that. So Sam,
again, camp.
it's yeah, and it sounds like beyond just the freedom that you receive from snowboarding, the expression, right? Once again, there's a community aspect. Like, we're so in life, a lot of us are always in search of our communities, right? Like, who's our community, where they at? And like what I'm hearing from you is that through these sports, these outdoor sports, you're finding also community in those same spaces. And and not that you have to be sitting there snowboarding with like 20 people community,
Nah,
right? It could be one other person on the slopes with you or wherever you want, or however you want to call it, that's on there but connected, right? All connected in what you're doing and maybe feeling that same freedom in their own way. And it's so funny because when you started talking about snowboarding, you just started talking a whole different language. You were throwing out words out there. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah, okay. I think I know where you're going with that, and that's beautiful, right? Because that speaks to also the community, the people who probably obviously hear that language you're saying and they immediately identify with it, and like, yeah, I get that, right? In saying that, this is all about like us changing the narrative, putting our people on to different things that we feel they would enjoy, right? Like we highly recommend this opportunity for you. I guess for our new beginners, our people who are new, like just new beginning, and maybe like me, have a fear of breaking some kind of bone in my leg, right? And I'm a little older than Sam, and so my recovery will be a little longer. And I guess being, that fear of doing something with snow and not having full control, or at least feeling right until you master doing it, feeling like you don't have the full control. I guess for those new beginners, people who might be listening to this segment who are like, I think Sam's convincing me on to do this. I want freedom, I want expression, and I want community. I want all three of those things that he's mentioning. I guess what is your advice to those people? to get started, to to push past maybe that fear that they're feeling,
Hmm.
right, of doing something new, but deep down they feel like, yeah, I need to do it. I guess what would be your advice to those folks?
My advice, 100% invest in some butt pads. It's not if you fall, it's when you fall. I tell people all the time we are all in between falls, right? We're always going to have that first one, and every time after that, while you're standing up, there's going to be another one. Something's going to happen. You could just be standing and you're just going to fall. I've already experienced that. But a big thing as well is a lot of people like to take it fast. You don't need to take it fast. It's getting in there, taking it nice and slow, taking it literally one step at a time, right? Like the biggest thing when I get a lot of students is they're super worried about falling and breaking something, right? It's because they're usually going outside of their limitations, right? They're pushing that boundary. Right? I tell people all the time, the first day of snowboarding is always the hardest. There's a lot of sensations going on, slipping and sliding. I tell people we steer with our front foot, just like in your car. It's your front wheels that turn left and right, right? Not the back ones. So it's small things like that that I like to tell people, right? We're taking it nice and slow. When we go slow, you can feel what's actually going on. You can get used to how the board starts to slide because snowboarding's a chill sport. People that are forcing, they're usually the ones having a bad time because they're not just gliding, they're not just chilling. The board is shaped a certain way that it
Hmm.
wants to turn. You just gotta relax your body, because that's a big thing is people get super stiff because again they're in that fear, right? I
Yep.
tell people you do this is what we're going to be doing. You don't need to go onto that step until you feel like you're about 60 to 75% confident with this task, because I tell people the foundations really matter, right? That's what we build our skills upon. And that's even where I am right now. I'll get super nerdy into like fundamentals of snowboarding and all that, but that would be like a later if people are ever interested.
Yeah,
But that's like my
yeah.
nerd talk I got. But taking it
Ah,
slow, absolutely investing in butt pads and looking online at resources. There's a lot of videos
yeah,
out there.
for sure. No, and I love all that advice, right? I think for folks who are doing new things, if they're trying to step out of their old patterns, like, right, I always tell folks, if you want new results, new things, you got to step out of your old patterns. And sometimes those old patterns really, we feel like they're our protection in so many ways. And I think sometimes our own lens of protection on ourselves limits us to do these newer things, right? And like when you speak about it, Sam, like you just like light up. Like, I can tell you love it, right? And that's why I wanted to bring Sam, y'all, because he's just the love that he has for these things. I knew it would show not just in his verbalizing it, but also how it shows when it comes out of the person's eyes, their body, because they're so connected to that thing. And I feel like, I don't snowboard, right? It's going to take a lot for Sam to convince me to do snowboarding. But before we hopped on this segment, we were talking about the group of folks who were in Keystone, a group of black folks skiing in Keystone, Colorado, a few weeks ago, and how, I was sharing with you how that was inspiring, right? And seeing that, hearing about it, because I didn't see a lot of it like up front myself, do pictures, of course. And I think that's beautiful how our people can come through, take over a space and ski their asses off and do that. I guess in the snowboarding world, which is way different from the skiing world, which I know, right? Like when you're in that world and you might find yourself identifying by yourself, or maybe there ain't a lot of folks who look like you spoke about community, right? And I think some of the worries sometimes our people might have in coming to these communities that might be a little alien to them is like, is that community gonna accept me? Right? Am I gonna feel
Hmm.
weird in this community? All right, like am I gonna feel like the crooked toe when I just want to snowboard here today? I guess do you have any thoughts about that and what you experience within your communities? Because I know every snowboarding community ain't gonna do the same thing, right? Like, I guess what are your thoughts about that, Sam?
So you say we were talking about that group over at Keystone. It's funny because I was doing a lesson yesterday and I saw these little kids and they're all little black kids. I'm like, look at them. They're having a blast, right? Like they're going down, their instructor's making sure that they're having a good time and staying safe, but they're just sliding around. They're just being goofy. Right. I think that's what it's really all about. If you're out there, you're willing to be like yourself, being able to express what you're worried about. But the biggest thing is you're out there to have fun and learn something. I don't think anyone's gonna have any issues is the thing, right? I get so many people like that don't want to put in an effort or they're not there to have fun. They're just like, I'm getting this down because we're here for one day. And I'm like, yo, relax. This is not like a one and done kind of thing. This is a lifelong investment, I always tell people, right? Like snowboarding teaches commitment. 100% teaches commitment and trust. So that's the same thing with the people that are around of like if you want to be out here and you want to do this, you're gonna find those people that you connect with the most. Like it's funny, I got a friend that he's from Guam. So him and I like to connect a lot on the holidays and how different it is
Yeah,
for him back home.
yeah,
Uh, and he's one of those guys like we can go ride for the afternoon. We're working on some new tricks. I've seen some of your stuff, but I haven't got to see it in person yet. What you gonna be doing next? I'm like, "Ugh." Right? So I've got those people that want to push me and they want to see the best because they know the capabilities and the potential that I have, as well as I see it in them as well. And that's all I want to see. And then we talk about all of us get hurt. It's just one of those things that happens that we're conscious of. But again, it's one of those things of knowing what your limitations are. If you just want to take it as a nice little chill, because I'm personally not a huge fan of walking and like snowshoeing, but I got into some touring. So now I can just kind of glide when I'm walking.
there you go.
So that's why I've gotten into sliding around. And it's just so much fun watching people out there. Biggest thing is just I wanted to keep everyone safe. So being with those
For sure.
people that you feel safe communicating with and that you can tell them, hey, I don't feel like going this lap or I don't want to do this run. I'm gonna meet y'all down at the bottom, right? There's a lot of independence and confidence that you build in yourself going out there. And it starts on
Yeah,
that first day of, I want to try this. I'm gonna do
yeah,
this.
yeah. And what you're speaking of, or at least what it sounds to me, Sam, is like a very supportive community. A community is not going to pressure you just because they can, go up and down the slopes like champs. Doesn't mean that they have that bar set on you, right? Where maybe some other settings, sports settings would. You know what I'm saying? You go and jump into a basketball game, it's going to be competitive, and they're not going to be like, "Oh, don't worry." You'll learn at halftime, right? They want you to
Yeah.
learn right now. Where it sounds like what you're sharing is of a community who is accepting that we all are learning, we're all gonna fall, right? We're all gonna go through this, which is important, especially as black and brown folks integrate into these different sports that maybe their cousins didn't go to or other family members didn't go to, right? But I think that's the beauty of ending those cycles of what I'm trying to preach and teach here is like we don't have to continue those patterns or cycles that don't serve us and keeps us boxed in, right? Like and I'm speaking to that because my step is to build the confidence to get to snowboard, right?
Yeah.
That's the goal. So, saying that, final thoughts here. We're at the end of the segment, Sam. I guess what are your final thoughts for people who might want to, like I said, let's go back to are interested. You got them half sold. They're half sold. They're like, all right, he got me half sold, but I live in Chicago. I don't live nowhere near Colorado, right? Like, but you and I know they get winter too. I guess for the people who are half sold, what is your final thoughts for those folks who are half sold to do snowboarding, to partake in it, to join the community, embrace it? What would be your final thoughts for those folks?
I mean, just like myself, if you want to try and go self-teach or just see what it's like, find a small little hill. Take those little steps, see what it's like first. All right? It's okay. A lot of what I tell people is we're going to learn a lot by doing.
Yeah,
And once you get that fear aspect, that's where See if there's someone around that you can get some tips or tricks. And again, if you go online, there's so many videos right now, especially for beginners. Because a lot of my first time lessons, we spend let's say 3 hours just getting used to the edges, getting onto a heel edge, right? You can spend a whole day on just one skill. That's okay. It's repetition that you need. It's the exposure. Like I said, commitment and investment. It's gonna go a long way, but snowboarding, harder to get started, but once you get everything clicking, so much easier to rip down those mountains and get way better and progress where you want to. But always have those butt pads. Always have the butt pads.
Well, you heard it from Sam. He's dropping the gems. Just get started, y'all. You know, find ways. There's ways to make it happen. I think I need to bring Sam. I think I need to bring you back, Sam, to talk about like equipment for rafting and equipment for snowboarding, right? Just some, maybe a couple do's and don'ts. Maybe some learning curves you fall out, so maybe we don't have to go through the pain of it, right? Definitely just bring Sam back, because Sam always has some gems to share with our people. And that's why I wanted to bring Sam on this segment of Changing the Narrative. As you know, this is Monday, so please motivate yourself. And I hope this snowboarding topic is motivating you. And we got the rest of the week. Take your time with this week, right? Give yourself grace. Make sure you take in your self-care moments. And we will see you again on Wednesday. But beyond that, and changing the narrative and giving big ups to Sam, you know what my last words are. Who's helping you heal, y'all? Peace.